Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California, and this is a dog kennel. You can get them for under $300. I actually saw them as low as $220 this year, so they fluctuate. This could be the answer to some of your problems. This is really a nice dog run. I was so excited with it, I almost bought two. Now, this has got the door here. I'm going to show you everything you need to know in a few minutes, but you can go in here and put everything you want in there. Let me show you when it came. You know what, let me explain something first. I bought this last year and I never got around to putting it together. I had so many other projects going that I decided to wait, and the longer I waited, we got into almost winter, we went into fall, and it was too late then. I also listened to a lot of your issues you had. You had rodents, you had raccoons, you had possums, you had dogs that would jump and knock everything over. And by listening to all that, I gathered enough information to think this could be the answer. Yes, you're going to have to invest some money if you buy a new one, without a doubt, but we invest money every day in certain things that we absolutely need. We buy groceries, we buy toilet paper, we buy clothes. We have bills every month. This is a one-time purchase, though you may have to get maybe a different tarp. You may want to tweak it, and that's what I'm going to talk about in a minute, because some of you are going to go, no, this won't work. It will work. It will work for almost every issue you've got. I think it's a good investment. There's a possibility I'll get a second one, though you know I've got so much food growing. It's really not that important, but there are so many things you could do with this. I could cover this whole thing and make it a full greenhouse. So in the winter, I could grow vegetables in here, and in the summer and spring, I could grow my other vegetables for outside. Let me show you how easy it is first to put it together. But before we step into that, keep in mind, this is a dog run. And I have seen them as low as $35 when people don't need them anymore. They buy these when they get a new dog. And once the dog is, a year old, older, it's accustomed to the family, it follows you around, it's got some training with them. A lot of people give these away or sell them cheap. And that is another way you can get them really cheap. Check your local papers. You've got online services like Nextdoor. Check that, because I have seen them cheap. I have turned them away for $35. But now that I had thought about it, I wanted to start with something new, but explain that you can get them used. So keep that in mind. And I think it's good if you can get one where you can walk down the middle. So let me show you real quick how Gary put it together and how easy it is that anybody could do it. Anybody, almost any age. And well, let's just get right into that. So here is the dog kennel or the dog run that I picked up at Walmart. Again, I have nothing to do with Walmart. I found it online, and when I bought it, it was close to $300. It was like $268, let's say $280 with tax. And it looked really nice. They had a lot of good reviews, and they do come in different sizes. I went with the one that was 8 foot long. They're all 6 foot tall in this style. I'll put, I'll put a picture of it where you can go look at it. But I went with the 8 foot long, which means you're got 4 panels on each side, and then you'll have 2 and 2 because they're like 2 foot panels. To put this together, the entire thing took Gary 20 minutes. It was that easy. And I had him put it together because you know how I want him to do videos. Oh, that's cork. See how they stick these little sticky things on there? That's perfect so they don't bang on each other and scratch up. And it's best for packing, and it worked really good. I think it was packed really well. So now he's looking at all the bolts. It comes with everything, the bolts and the brackets, and they're very easy to put together. You're going to put one on each side, top and bottom, and it fits on each side. There's a bracket that goes underneath, on one side, a bracket on the other, and then you just put your nut and bolt in there, or your wing nuts, see, and then he just kind of flings it around, and that's all there is to it. It's really quick. You don't need a hammer or anything. It's just basically nothing. So he did this all the way around, but I thought it was a really, really good price. I have seen it fluctuate, so keep that in mind. And be careful if you decide to order one, because you could accidentally hit the one that says 6 foot, and then you'll only get 3 panels on each side, which may be enough for you, but I want a little more room, and the biggest one was 8, and I think 8 foot is perfect. And there it is. You can see them a little closer. I'll slow it down off and on. You didn't need to watch this for 20 minutes. Though if you want to see it, I do have the whole thing, and I could put that up. But see how it goes on? And he stood it up himself. I didn't even hold it for him. He did the whole thing. He stood it up, and then he put the bracket on the top and the bottom. And you'll see here, see how it's 2 pieces, like a puzzle, one on one side, one on the other. It holds the barring perfect, and then you just screw it together, see? So that's one side of the screw, and then you've got the bolt on the other side with the wing nut on it. And he went through each one, and you can see clearly here how there's 4 panels on each side. Think of it as 2-foot panels. So you've got 4, and then you've got 2 and 2. There is only one way to put the door on, but you can turn the whole thing around. We put it this way, and then Gary and I lifted it and turned it because I wanted the door the other way. Then you've got the top brackets already put together. You just slide them in the post, and there's nothing to it, see? And again, it comes with that puzzle little bracket, and you put that on, and then you put the wing nut on, and it came with enough bolts for that. Everything worked out really good. It's a, I guess you would call it a powder coat paint. It's in black, and I know it's going to weather, but this is, you know, to make a garden, and I think it's going to be really cool. And he put that together, and then he's got a bar, I believe, that's going to go down the center, because it did come with a plastic type of top. Is it going to last? No, but you know, you can go to Harbor Freight or order online a tarp, a real cheap one later, and maybe you'll want to go clear on this. Gary ordered some greenhouse clear fabric. There's a lot for himself. He's building something. And you can put anything you want later. You may want to wire it, because that's what we're going to talk about more, but there it is. I think it's really cool. It's got a latch. If you're just dealing with dogs, you know, then that's all you need. And then here it came with these stretchy ties, and you just put it through the rivets that are there, the eye rivets, and you put the little ball through there, and then you just pull it, and that holds the tarp down. Now, can you buy extra tarps when this wears out? I don't know. I didn't see them. I'm assuming you might be able to, but like I said, I might want to do something completely different. I may want something clear. See? So that's all you need to do, and then you just put it through each and every one, and the top is on there really nice and snug, and it's fitted. It's made to fit on there. The door is wide enough for me to get through, so I know you can get through. And now he just kind of fitted it on, but it was like really 1, 2, 3 to put it in, and you'll see here when he opens up the latch, he has to bend to go in, because it's only about maybe 6 foot tall there, 5 foot tall, I should say. But look, in the middle, you can stand. So it will depend on how you want to set it up. Is it wheelchair accessible? Probably not wide enough. But to walk in there, you can put a little stool in there to sit down. And then they've got these little caps, so it doesn't fill with water. It's kind of to make it neat and clean. And those you just kind of push on. It's kind of a little finishing touch. And that went on all the square poles, and that's all there is to it. It has a lot of potential. It has a lot of goodness to it. I'm very excited with it. I have so many ideas, but there it is all set up. I think it's really cool. Right now it's just sitting on the hard packed soil. We've got the clay with the wood chips underneath that Gary put there a while ago, and I'm looking at it and I'm analyzing it. But I think it's a really nice unit for between $200 and $300. It could, just think of all the food you can grow in there. So now you saw how easy it was to put together. It was nothing with nothing. I could have done it myself, but hey, I want to get Gary in the videos. You know, I want him to participate too. Okay, that sounds like an excuse. It might be, but it worked anyways. The thing is, I want you to look at this. Don't think this is nonsense. And think about your issues if you're not gardening. If you're gardening and it's working, don't change what you're doing. I don't want you to spend money if you don't have to. But let me show you something on how easy this is to put things in. Here I've got a chair. If I wanted to put something on a chair, I'm not sure exactly yet how I'm going to set this up. Kidding me. I found the chair that doesn't fit. No. Okay, there it goes. So I could put a chair in here. I could compost in place here. And let's grab a tote real quick so you can see just how much you can put in here. Now this is just the start. I don't really plan on putting totes in here, okay? That's not really my thought. But you could put grow bags in here. You could put buckets in here. I'm going to set this up with dish pans because dish pans, like a bucket that is 5 gallons, a dish pan is 4.5. You can get the smaller ones at Dollar Tree. You could put shelves. You could put brackets. You could put anything you have around the house and then start to do it your way. This is not a one-way fits all. This is a thing that's going to be the way you need it. Now, if you are only dealing with your dog that gets into everything, knocks everything over, this is your answer. Now, if you've got a digger, you may want to put this on cement. I'm actually going to put stepping stones that you pick up for $1 a piece at the store, at the hardware stores, and I'm going to put cement stepping stones all the way around. So if a rodent comes through, let's say a squirrel, they'll start to dig and they can't get in. I also have ideas because I have a lot of tote lids. I may line the bottom with tote lids and leave it that way. Now I may put tulle on here too. Now if you've got bigger problems, of course you could do other things. You can get a roll of 1/4-inch wire and you could zip tie that on all over. And the only thing that will be able to get in there is your small little flies, maybe pollinators, small ones, but you won't have any rodents. This will eliminate rodents if you want to cover it with 1/4-inch wire. Now keep in mind, everything you do, once you do it, is a one-time do. Now tulle, you may have to do that every year. But I'm going to show you tulle that you can get so cheap. You may be able to do the whole thing for close to $10, $20 at the tops. Tulle will keep out a lot of things. This is why you have to look at this and see what it is you want to do, because I can just use this and protect it from, let's say, squirrels and rabbits. Rabbits, remember, they're not a big thing to me because a lot of my garden is up on a chair and rabbits don't really jump that high, but squirrels do. So you have to step back. Now you say, well, I have raccoons. Raccoons can't get in here, but they can get their little hands in there and pull. So keep that in mind. So in certain areas where you've got your plants, you may want to put something there so they can't reach it. But this will eliminate your raccoons. They cannot get through this. So if that's your big problem, you can work it out with the raccoons this way. You can work it out with the dogs this way. Cats, no cats getting into your food, that you're growing if that's your issue. You want pollinators in there, keep some of it open. Now, like I said, this is just a plastic top. It's a kind of a fabric plastic, but I think it's going to eventually break down. It should last good for one season. You can buy tarps at a lot of hardware stores, and then you can zip tie it on or put it on with the ties next year if it breaks down. You could put a wire top on, you could put a regular roof on it. It's got so many different potential things to it. Bears, I have bears. I don't have bears. A few of you have come in and said you got bears. I have mountain lions. I got bobcats, but I don't have bears. If you really have bears and you really, really want a garden, you could get those electric wires that they put on chicken coops and different things, and you can set that. They're not going to want to try to get through electricity, and you can have that hooked up where they'll get zapped and leave it alone. Make sure you don't use a lot of food matter that's going to attract them in your compost. Do your compost someplace else. That's only for bears. For everything else, I think this is going to be a dream. I'm so excited. But you know what I want you to do? Because I'm going to be setting this up in the next few weeks, little by little. And what's wonderful is I get to set it up. And then I get to step back and go, I want to do it differently. I can take it all apart and do it again. What I want you to do is tell me how you would set one up. What if you put one on your patio, in your yard, in your garden? This thing is so light, you can put this thing, look at this. You could put it on deck. You could put it anywhere you want, on a balcony if you have a really big balcony. It's really light. I want to know what your issue is. your big problems, why you can't garden, and what you need done. What would have to go on here to stop your problem? I will read through all that and see. But I think this is really something you can use. It looks classy. I think it looks really nice. Hey, if it should rust, get a little spray paint, black spray paint later on in the year. Paint it if it bothers you. This is so cool. You can hang things on the outside. You know, planters you can put here and flowers. You can bring the pollinators in. You could just fence around the bottom if you don't have big issues. Step back and look at it. You know, you can grow a lot in here. You know how my dish pans are? You only need a small area. You can grow lettuce. You could grow celery in here. Radish, carrots, brassicas. You could set up a tote and grow zucchini in here. You can grow watermelon. You can grow everything you want. Just here's the thing you'll have to do. You will have to limit yourself to only the food you like. You're not going to be able to experiment with a lot of stuff you don't know if you like it, because you're not going to have the room for that. But you're going to have the room for your favorite things. My favorite thing, geez, you know I like zucchini, but I love growing lettuce. And my birds get in there sometimes and nibble on it and different things. But if I was only dealing with lettuce in here and worried about a few little birds on that, I could tool just my lettuce and still leave it open. And I'm not going to have raccoons get in here. I'm not going to have much of anything get in here. But again, you may want to wire it with 1/4-inch wire. You could go part way up. You could do the whole thing. There's a lot of stuff. But I want to hear what you have to say, because I think this could be the perfect small space mini garden for so many of you, because you don't have to grow any more than for you and your family. And there is a good potential in here to grow a lot of that. I think this is so fun. It's easy to get in and out of. I was so excited when I thought about this last year, but I never got around to it because I've got a dozen plus other gardens I was working on. This year I was determined to get this up. So it's up here now, and as I'm setting it up in the next week or two, I want to be reading through your comments on what you think. You don't like it? Tell me you don't like it. Maybe you don't need it. I don't need it, but I'm doing this for fun. Yet I almost bought a second one. So think about it. I'm going to read through and see what you say, because I think there is an answer for pretty much everything. And in here, you would put a couple watering cans right when you walk in. So the first thing you do is just grab your watering can and water your plants. You can have some soil in there or have your soil someplace else. But these dish pans, you know what I grow? I grow potatoes. I've got to harvest potatoes right now that's in there. I wouldn't waste my time lining this up with potatoes, except if that's all you wanted to grow. If you only want to grow potatoes and you like new little potatoes, then this is the perfect thing. But I would put more effort into growing the greens, because greens is so important for our body, and putting that in there and growing maybe your spinach if you like it, or lettuce, or different types of brassicas, different types of kale, collard. You could grow a lot of stuff in here. And like I said, my mind is just going crazy on this. And you could get it off the ground. You can put it on the ground, depending on how we set it up. But there's a lot we can do. So tell me what you think. This is going to be, to me, fantastic and cheap. Where are you going to get a garden? Now, I'll tell you what, a lot of people, this small, doing so much for you. A lot of people now are using these for chicken coops. They absolutely love them. They've been getting 5 stars for chicken coops. People have used it for their dogs, and once their dog got used to their new home, they didn't have a use for it. They threw chickens in here. This is fantastic for chickens, but we've got our own chicken coop. But for gardening, I think this could be the answer. And if I wanted to, I could put a beautiful pond in here, decorate it up, put plants all around it, open the door during the day, and at night I can lock this door and keep the raccoons out of my pond, because I love ponds. By having it this way, the dragonflies could go in there, they could lay their eggs. That's what I'm saying. There's so many things we could do with a nice dog kennel. So I'm going to be waiting for your comments, and I'm going to see what you have to say about it, but I'm excited. And I'm sure you're waiting to see what I'm going to do with it. And I'm still thinking, but I've got tons of ideas. So with that, you have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Lettuce, zucchini I can grow in there. And hummingbirds, I can hang some really cool hummingbird feeders off of this too. Bye-bye. Oh, I love this. I so love this. Oh, and I didn't even tell them. If they wanted it longer, they can get a second one. Don't put the back panels on and run it straight through, and you can have this 16 feet long. I was thinking about that.